See if it goes again. Finally. Good morning, anybody tuning in. Apologies for the late start there. A lot of technical difficulties, but finally able to get things underway here. Already working the top of the first here. The leadoff batter, Castro, ended up walking on a full count, so he will have first base, and that will bring up Brownfield, number 2 hitter here for the Warriors. Pitch down low. Isaac Fernandez was thinking about the back pick there, but held on to it. So 1-0 count here to Brownfield. King's pitch looks to show bunt, pulls it back, called strike 1-1. Kings 1-1. Back pick attempts. Nothing doing there, but strike on the pitch or on the bunt attempt there. So 1 and 2. 1-2 pitch down in the dirt, laid off by Brownfield. Count will even up 2-2. We'll go ahead and play a little bit of catch up here in between innings. I'll go ahead and get you the rundown of the batting order and where people are playing. In the meantime, Cooper King is on the mound and strikes out the second batter of the game. So 1 down, that'll bring up McFadden. Was batting much lower in the lineup yesterday, elevated up in today's ball game. Let's take a look exactly. Yes, he was batting 8th yesterday, as that one is in there for strike. Today, up to the 3rd spot. 0-1 count on him. We'll watch to see if Castro has any ambitions of taking 2 here. King comes home, swing and a miss. And behind 0-2, takes that one inside. McFadden 0 for 4 in yesterday's game, but did end up reaching base on an errant throw from third base. 1-2 chopped. That could be 2. 6, 4, 3. Dug out of the dirt by Ethan Wood, and that'll end the inning. Clean double play there for the A's to end the Warriors' chances in the top of the first, so they'll be coming up in the bottom of the first, looking to strike first. And as mentioned, apologies for coming on late, technical difficulties, but thankfully we were able to get things going here in the middle of the top of the first innings. So anyways, getting into today's game yesterday, A's able to take care of business 7-1 with a huge 5-run 5th inning. This is the middle game of a 3-game series with the Norcal Warriors, and A's have won all 3 contests so far this week, with 3 to go, including today's game. Another hot one. It's going to be at Chansey Park. And let's take a look at that A's lineup. 1 second, folks. Going to pull that up. There we go. All right. Leading things off is going to be Tyson Miller, back in the lineup after having the day off yesterday. Second, Aiden Perry yet again, and he is at second as well. Batting third, Ethan Wood again this time. First start since his injury of playing in the field. Past few games he's been DHing. In the cleanup spot, George Smith. Saw him lower in the lineup yesterday, now back up in the top half. Batting fifth, Luke Nevada takes third base. Brian Sanders was there yesterday. Luke Reed batting sixth in right field. He's swinging a hot stick right now. We'll see if that continues. Batting seventh, Mikey Ramirez has been Mr. Consistent with getting base hits this year. Batting eighth is going to be Jake Maynor. And then batting ninth will be Isaac Fernandez. And as mentioned, on the mound is Cooper King. We'll get a little more into Cooper King's season when he gets back there, out there on the mound. As for who's on the mound for the Warriors, it is Riley Egan. He's getting warmed up, has his pals in the infield around him. All right, here we go. Bottom of the first, Tyson Miller digging in here for the Athletics. As mentioned, did not play in yesterday's game. Back in the lineup today in his very familiar center field spot. First pitch of his at-bat is in there for a strike. Yes, sir. Friday's A's baseball. Happy to be here. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, one pitch. Miller shows bunt again. Pops it up. Catcher able to catch it, or was it on the ground? Looks like umpire signals it was on the ground. Took a heck of a pop off the bat, but still able to field it cleanly and throw Miller out at first. So I reckon that's going to be a ground out to catcher there. Aiden Perry will dig in now. This will be Perry's fifth game of work, still seeking his first hit with the A's this season, but good defensive glove up the middle and has been able to work some walks and score. One 0 pitch to Perry, sent high into the outfield for the center fielder who parks under it. He's got it, 2 down. Quick 2 outs here for Egan and the Warriors. They don't mind that, keeping that pitch count low. Ethan Wood will be digging in with 2 down now, and I just noticed the A's have a bat boy for today. Isn't that awesome? Fantastic. First pitch looked to be a bit too low, 1-0. Ethan Wood homered earlier this week, first time on the season for him, and that was the 5th homer of the season for the A's at the time until Brian Sanders unleashed a home run of his own in the same game. Speaking of home runs, 3 home runs total this week, with Luke Nevada hitting grand slam earlier in this week. Just been mashing the ball, have the A's. This one's hit to the first baseman who says, I got it. Rolls it over to first in time for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for the A's, and we'll go to the top of the second. Warriors coming back up to bat. First pitch of the top of the second, called a ball 1-0. Cooper King working on his second inning of work, down low 2-0. Wanted to highlight Cooper King's stats here on the season thus far. A couple things a little inflated, such as ERA. It is a 6.75 for him, but that really all has pinned down to the start up in Humboldt. Otherwise, since then, Cooper King has been putting in quality starts for the team. Going into this game, he had 24 innings pitched on the year. This is his fifth start of the year and has 28 strikeouts to 15 walks. Off the top of my head, he has been one of three starters I could think of, consistent starters, I should say, because we have other people start here and there, such as Callum Noonan earlier this week made his first start on the year. Cooper King, along with Ryan Weller and Jared Sawyer, have been consistent starters for the team this year, and they have been really dialing it in recently for the team. Full count 3-2 on the way upstairs, gets him to chase. Might have been called at the top of the zone anyways, but either way, strikeout for King. So Gonzalez down on strikes. That'll bring up Underwood. Underwood came in and pinch hit for Burnell in yesterday's game. Now he gets to start today. Oh, 1 pitch inside, gets the strike. 0-2. Quick windup from King, spikes it in the dirt outside, 1-2. 1-2 pitch. He thought he had it. Appeals to the first baseman, no go. Cooper King showing a lot of character on the mound there for sure. He was walking that one off like he had his third strikeout of the day. Count evens up though, 2-2 on the way. Batter definitely held a swing on that one, so count runs full. Payoff pitch for King. Swing and a miss at a pitch located down in the zone. Underwood down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Cooper King, third of the game. So 2 down, here comes Duran. First pitch to him, swung on and missed. Tell you what, they're having a tough time touching King's pitches at the moment. 0-1. Duran came in and pinch hit and substituted for the catcher Valdez yesterday. 0-2 and slow and rather unenthusiastic strike 3 call from the umpire, but that got him. Crooked K there for King to end the inning, and he strikes out the side. 1-2-3. In a nice groove as the A's go into the dugout for their at-bats in the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, A's up to bat. That dugout in that dugout filled with A's is alive in between innings. Hopefully they carry that energy into these at bats. Egan works a slider that goes off the plate, 1-0. Taking a look at Smith yesterday, he was batting lower in the lineup, batted seventh, able to work a couple walks, but 0 for 2 on the day. Pitch in the dirt to him, 0 and 2, or 2 and 0. Smith been a good hitter for the A's this season, but bat a little bit cold recently. Still, though, when he's not hitting, he's found ways to get on base with a lot of walks. And look at that. Just on cue, hits one up the middle, base hit. Crisp liner up the middle into center field, gets a base hit to start things off in the bottom of the second for the A's. So with one on, no out, Luke Navad, the third baseman, will be digging in, trying to get some more action on those bases. Navad was not in yesterday's game, had the day off, but back in the lineup today, typically an everyday starter at third. Sometimes we'll see him at first. That pitch dips into the low part of the zone for a strike. Egan's 0-1, scratch that. He goes to check on the runner at first. Smith in there safe. Excuse me, folks. Now we come home with the 0-1. Navad offers at it, chops it foul, back to the screen. So Egan quickly ahead on Navad, 0-2. Worth bringing up, there isn't two outs in this situation, but Luke Navad, when he hit his grand slam earlier this week, there's two outs and there was two strikes on him, 0-2, and then able to work the count a little bit and ended up piecing one into the stands. That was a heck of a moment. So after checking on Smith yet again, Egan comes set. Checks yet again on Smith. One thing we saw yesterday quite a lot with the Warriors, they were thrown over to first. And that theme continues early on in this ball game. Does it yet again 3 times in a row. Four times in a row he throws over. Well, of course, I'm not Egan, but that might tell me a couple things. He might be nervous on the bump there, trying to buy time. I don't know for what, though, since it's the bottom of the second. Don't believe anybody would be coming in. Nobody's on the bump warming up in the bullpen. But, anyways, there goes George Smith. Finally, Luke Navad rips this one, but foul. 4 pickoff attempts are unsuccessful. Finally comes home with the 0-2, and we'll just do it again on 0-2. Comes home. There goes George Smith, ripped into left field. That's down for a base hit. Should be extra base hit for Nevada. No, it won't. Cut off by the left fielder. George Smith holds up at second, so that's a single for Luke Nevada. Back-to-back singles for the A's, and they got something cooking here. And arguably the hottest bat in the lineup this week is coming up to the plate now. That is Luke Reed. Reed was 2 for 3 yesterday. Also worked a walk, couple of ribbies on a single and a double. This is squares to butt. Now he hits it to the third baseman. George Smith, though, was already on the move, so he is able to get to third base safe. Good piece of baseball there from the A's. They show bunt, runners on the move. Luke Reed able to put it in play. That way they can't get the out at third or second. So now one down, 2 runners in scoring position. And Mikey Ramirez will look to cash in on that opportunity. First pitch to Ramirez, down in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, though, so runners will stay put. Mikey was batting cleanup yesterday, had himself a base hit, scored twice in yesterday's game. Takes another ball there, 2-0, hitters count for him. Two-0 pitch outside, 3-0. Oh, 2 runners in scoring position. We'll see if Ramirez has the green light, but if I was a betting man, he'll probably be taken all the way. Corners of the infielders are in first and third base. The middle infield is set back, and he works the outside part of the plate for a strike, 3-1. Three-one pitch, chops it to the third baseman. He goes home with it, and he's going to tag out George Smith. Good quick play there by the third baseman. Typical rule from when I played baseball is usually the base runner will hold up at a ground ball hit to third, but George Smith risked the biscuit. Doesn't pay off there. So now with that, runners will be in on the corners with 2 outs. And that'll bring up a quick meeting with the coach and everybody. That was a little bit early trouble for Egan, but able to induce a couple of ground balls in this inning to get 2 outs. And now the situation looking a little bit better for the Warriors. Meeting on the mound over, everybody going back to their positions. And it's going to be up to Jake Maynor for the A's to get the game's first runs in here. Quick peek at the temperature currently. Game time, it is in the low 80s. Could be getting to the low 90s by the end of this ball game. All right, Mikey Ramirez looks pretty antsy to go. Coach told him to step off. He recognized that. So now Egan will reset. There goes Ramirez, and no throw down to second. He'll have two for free. Now 2 runners in scoring position yet again. Calling the pitch there was a strike, so 0-1 to Maynor. Pitch dives away out of the zone. 1. Maynor did not start yesterday's game, but did come in as a pinch hitter for Parker Cristall. Had won that bat and struck out in that one. We've seen him DH and play first base thus far. Oh, drills him. That one gets away from Egan, so there goes Maynor to first base, and now bases are juiced for the Athletics. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Isaac Fernandez. Fernandez has been versatile in the lineup in his few games so far. We've seen him catch, we've seen him DH, and we've seen him play a couple of outfield positions. First pitch gets away from the catcher. Here comes Luke Nevad, and he's in there. Well, unforced error there for the Warriors as Egan yanks that one wild pitch. There goes Nevada in to score 1-0 A's. So Ramirez will be at third. Maynor is at second now. Ball there to Fernandez, 2-0. This is the 6th game for Fernandez played. He has 9 at bats so far, 3 for 9 in those, so 333 batting average. Yanked yet again. Here comes the runner Ramirez, and he's going to be in there. Slides for safety, 2-0. The 2 runs have come in to score for the A's, but both on wild pitches in the same at bat, as a matter of fact. Fernandez now in a hitter's count 3-0. Maynor settles in at third base after those 2 wild pitches. Comes back with a strike on the inside part of the plate. Top of the lineup on deck here for the Athletics. Tyson Miller in the circle. Fouls that one back 3-2. Tough start to the at-bat for Egan, but from 3-0 now to 3-2 has a chance to close out this inning against Fernandez. Challenges him up the middle, and it's fouled away. Egan with a long pause on the mound, now into his windup. Take 2 of a full count is spoiled by Fernandez. Foul ball. Pitch number 8 to Fernandez. Upstairs, he chases and misses on that one. Egan able to get out of this inning but not before giving up 2 runs. Was looking like they could get out of it with no runs after getting 2 outs in a row. But 2 wild pitches are able to plate Navad and Ramirez. So the A's take the early lead in this one, 2-0 as we go to the top of the third. First pitch at the top of the third in there for a strike. Bit of a longer inning there, but not too long for Cooper King to wait. But it's like he picked up right where he left off. Quickly works the count 0-2 against Jackson. Make it 0-3. Swing and a miss. Gonna throw down to first base for safe measure, but looked like that was scooped up off the dirt. The strikeout there of Jackson, that is 4 consecutive Ks across the last 2 innings, and pretty remarkable how the A's pitchers have been stringing together those strikeouts. We saw it in 2 instances yesterday, one with the starting pitcher Ryan Weller and then one with Gio Casas. First pitch there is a ball to Oliveras. And I do believe Cal Noonan strung together some strikeouts in his start as well earlier this week. Looks like he was able to string together 3 punch-outs in a row. Good stuff from him. Jared Sawyer able to punch out 3 in a row earlier this week as well. So they've certainly been streaky with those strikeouts. And Cooper King 1 strikeout away from stringing together a 5th one in a row. There's another punch out, and he gets Oliveras looking on that one. 5 in a row for Cooper King. He's mowing him down at the moment. And that'll bring up the 9-hitter, Gilbert. So 5 strikeouts in a row, 6 total in this game through 3 innings of work. He is feeling it. Not going to be a strikeout that time, but hit pretty close to where Tyson Miller's playing in center field. He's got it. One pitch, one out there for the third out of this inning. Quick 1-2-3 for Cooper King and the A's on defense. So they'll be right back up to bat in the bottom half of this inning. Bottom of the third, A's looking for some more runs after getting 2 across last inning. It's going to start out with Tyson Miller, who fouls it off of himself. Looks to be okay, though. 0-1. Egan comes home with 0-1, served on the right side of the field. There goes the first baseman. He's running to first. He had to hustle. He had to hustle his feet to get there before Miller, and he did just in time for out number 1. Big man was rumbling over to first because Miller was on the move. So that'll be 1 down in this inning. Aiden Perry will be digging in for his second at bat. First time up for him in this game, he flew out to center. Takes that pitch on the outside, perhaps a bit low too, but paints it for strike 1. Takes that for ball 1, count leaving up to 1-1. Third pitch of the at bat, ripped out to right field, but might be one of those. No, it's not. Falls in. It's going to be an extra base hit. Is he going to try and stretch it for 3? Yes, he is. He's on the move. Throw in there. He's out. Great throw in there to get Perry and cut him down. That is going to be a double for him, but not a triple as he gets thrown out at third. So 2 down in this inning. Going to mention, I thought the right fielder was going to catch up to that one, but was able to fall in between the right fielder and center fielder. But potential good chance there for the A's to get some more runs with a runner in scoring position. Gets cut down at third. Good relay in from the Warriors, and that'll bring us to 2 down, nobody on base. First pitch outside to Ethan Wood. Grounded out to first base his first time up. Fouls this one back to the screen, 1-1. As mentioned, he's been starting to get more play time since pulling his hamstring up in Humboldt. This is the first start since that series that he has been in the field back at the familiar first base. Earlier this week and last week, he was getting some swings at the DH position. Long pause for Egan. Now he's coming home 1-1. Down low 2-1. 2-1 pitch downstairs 3-1. Taking a quick peek at Wood's stats, he is batting .383 on the year, OPS over 1,000, and still leads the team with tied for the lead actually with George Smith with 18 RBIs. Rips this one out to right field, falls in front of the right fielder who misplays it. It's going to the wall. Ethan Wood on to second. That should be easy triple for him. Look at the big man rumble. He's in there. So Aiden Perry tried for the triple, was unsuccessful, but this time the A's will get a triple. Ethan Wood flies, flies 270 feet around the bases, and now he's 90 feet away from scoring the third run of the game. George Smith digs in now, trying to drive in his college teammate. First pitch in there for a strike. Egan's 0-1 in the dirt. Good block there from the catcher to keep Ethan Wood at third. One pitch is chopped by George Smith to third base. It gets by the third baseman. That's going to bring in Ethan Wood. First RBI of the day for the Athletics, and it results in the third run of the game. George Smith, RBI single. Ethan Wood comes in to score 3-0 A's. So fifth hit of the game, but only the first RBI of the game. The other two runs were RPIs in the game runs pitched in based off of those wild pitches that got back to the backstop. Good two-out hitting there from the A's to get in another run. And there goes George Smith. First pitch, throw down, not in time. He's in there. Call on the pitch was a strike to the new batter, Luke Navad's 0-1. Navad able to get a single in his last at-bat, which was just last inning, and he scored the game's first run. Egan comes home, swing and a miss, 0-2. Navad was an 0-2 count last at-bat, able to get a single. Let's see if he can repeat that. Upstairs, 1-2. 1-2 pitch from Egan, chopped up the middle. Shortstop looks to be playable for him. Throws it over to first in time for the third out of this inning. But A's able to capitalize on a 2-out triple from Ethan Wood. George Smith brings him in on an RBI single. A's up 3-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. Top of the fourth, Cooper King quickly works the first pitch, dots it down in the zone, 0-1. He's been working it on the mound here. First batter he walked, but after that it's been easy breezy and beautiful. That pitch also called a strike, 0-2. So after that walk, strikeout, double play, strikeout, 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 and then a flyout. This one looks like it's going to flare over Perry's head. There it is, base hit, first of the game for the Warriors. A Blute single cashed into right field for Castro, and he will take first base. First base runner for them since the first inning, looking to capitalize and strike back from a 3-0 deficit. Second batter, Brownfield, will now dig in 0-1 with a strikeout on the day, already showing bunt. And he does bunt it to Cooper King. He's going to go with the safe bet over to first in time for the first out. Not the best of bunts, but gets the job done. Moves Castro over to second base. Thought there might have been time for Cooper King to go to on that one, but don't blame him at all with going the safe option at first base. First pitch to McFadden is skied in the air. Ethan Wood settles under it in foul ground for out number 2 and rips it over to third to make sure the runner at second doesn't think about 3. 2 pitches, 2 outs here for the A's defense. And it'll be up to Gonzalez to continue this inning and perhaps cash in Castro from second. First pitch hammered out to right field. Luke Ree on the run. Back. He's got it. That was an acrobatic catch. He was trying to make up for the distance that he was losing to that ball and then threw out that glove out on his left side and able to snare it for out number 3. Boy, wish we had better cameras or closer cameras to get that one. in a closer viewpoint, but still very nice catch for Luke Ree. He ends the inning here. No runs come across after a leadoff single for the Warriors. A's back up to bat in the bottom half of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth here for the A's up to bat. It is going to be the 6, 7, 8 batters. Luke Ree leads things off and just gets a hold of that one, but foul. My goodness, he ripped it. Luke Ree 0 for 1 in the game, ground out to third base. This one gets by the catcher low in the dirt, 1-1. One pitch, off speed, gets it in there for a strike, 1-2. One-two pitch, able to hold, goes for the appeal down to first. Yes, he did. Sure didn't look like he went to from here, but I didn't have as good of an angle to see it. That ends up being a strikeout for Ree, one down. Mikey Ramirez will be digging in now. Reach base in the second inning on a fielder's choice. That's when the third baseman threw home to cut down George Smith, but then ended up scoring on a wild pitch. A little bit of chin music up and in there. Ramirez, cool, calm, and collected to it, though. Just ducks the head out of the way, 1-0. This one sent out pretty well, out to left field. Left fielder makes the long run for the catch. Nice play by him. Ramirez is set down. Quick two outs here in this inning after strikeout and flyout. Jake Maynard will be coming in. First time up for him. He was hit by a pitch to load up the bases. First pitch, low and away, 1-0. Low pitch to Maynard outside. Enter the DH for today's game. Done that a few times this season, along with playing at first base. Egan's 2-0 inside, and Maynard has worked it 3-0. Hitters count for Maynard. We'll see if he has the green light. 3-0 pitch, taken for a strike. This is just my own personal opinion about the 3-0 green light, red light situation, but we see more times than not somebody will pump one right down the pipe just like that. It's grounded to the shortstop, throws it over to first in time for out number 3. So reckon I'll hold my thought for the next inning. A's go 3 up, 3 down in this inning, and we'll be coming back up on defense, top of the 5th. Warriors looking to bounce back. Top 5, Cooper King still out there. First pitch for him is a strike. First batter here for the Warriors is Underwood. He takes that pitch for a ball, 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. 1-2 pitch sent right up the middle off of King's foot. Luke Nevada on the run from third, throws it over to first, and it is beat out by Underwood. That will be a leadoff single for Underwood. It's one of those that the A's could have done nothing about, really, off of Cooper King's cleat and died in no man's land. So with no outs, one runner on base, Duran will be coming in looking to move Underwood around those bases. First time up for him, he was 0 for 1 with a K, showing bunt, and the Nevada goes way in, about halfway home on the grass. That one's taken for a ball, 1-0. See if he'll square around to bunt again. Yes, he does. Lays it down on the right side of the field. King fields it, underhands it to Wood for out number 1. So a lot of small ball being played here early on for the Warriors. Hasn't quite worked out in their favor yet, but they're still rolling with it. Underwood ends up at second base off of that bunt. One out in this inning. Jackson, the new batter, first pitch chopped up the middle. Might be two. Never mind. That's going to be one out. I don't know why I thought that was going to be two. Kept thinking that Underwood was at first base, even though I just said he was at second. But, anyways, Underwood gets moved to third base on that ground ball. Jackson out at first. So, two down, runner at third. Olivares is up now for the Warriors. 0 for 1 with a K. First pitch, swing and a miss. It's funny, though, even though there was no double play on George Smith, looked like he touched second base like he was rolling too. Back pick attempt over at third, not in time. But King 0-2 count here for Olivares, one pitch away from being out of this inning and keeping the scoreless outing going. 0-2 pitch, popped up. It could be a flare shot into shallow center. It is. It'll drop right in front of Tyson Miller. RBI single for Olivares. He gets it done. Underwood in to score. First runs of the game for the Warriors. They cut the deficit to 2. Gilbert steps in for his second at bat. First pitch, King pumps in there for a strike. Gilbert flew out to Tyson Miller in the third inning. Keep an eye on Underwood to see if he plans on going to 2. Won't go on that one as it's chopped foul against the catcher Fernandez. 0-2. King one pitch again away from being out of this inning. 0-2 pitch to Gilbert, swung on and missed. Great depth on that one on the outside part of the plate. Gets him swinging. Ends this inning, but 2 base hits result in the first run of the game for the Warriors as they cut the deficit to 2. Halfway home in this game. Athletics looking to cash in some more runs.
Yes, we did.
Top fifth, first pitch to Isaac Fernandez is absolutely smoked, but in foul ground. So on count here to Fernandez. First time up for him, he struck out. One pitch. Dives too low out of the zone, 1-1. Egan still working the mound here for the Warriors. This one smoked yet again. Holy smokes. It's down the line. It's foul. That was some resounding pop off of Fernandez's bat. Second time he's done it this at bat. That one was even better, but just not able to keep it right of that foul pole. 1-2 count here. We'll see if third time's the charm comes up in this at bat for him. Already had 3 home runs this week. We wouldn't mind a fourth. 1-2 pitch. This one's chopped on the ground to the shortstop. Throws it over to first in timeout number 1. Some of the report here in the game just heard there's defensive substitution out in right field. So Thanos comes in for Brownfield. That was yesterday's pitcher for the Warriors, starting pitcher, that is. First pitch to Tyson Miller, taken outside. Miller 0 for 2 on the day, couple of ground outs. First one actually was a bunt that the catcher snared and threw over to first for the out. Miller takes that one down the pipe, 1-1. Miller watches that one in there for strike 2. This one chopped on the ground to the first baseman. Nice pick off of the short hop. Gets it over to first in time for the second out. 3 ground outs on the day for Miller, and that'll bring up Aiden Perry. First pitch that Perry sees, drills it to the shortstop, catches it before it hits the ground for out number 3. 1 pitch, 1 out there for the third out of the inning. Good hard contact from Perry, but just one of those where you hit it to the guy. So they go 3 up, 3 down for the A's in this inning. Still up 3-1 as we go to the top of the 6th. 0-1 pit count now to the new batter. That is going to be Ethan Wood. Second pitch for Cooper King, foul back to the screen. And now I'm going to turn it over to one of our players on the team.
Right here, Cooper King sent up a 0-2. Comes at it, looks like a cutter. Just a bit outside. Oh, it's a golf kit. And there it is. So that change up. Doing some of this. Third. Yeah. Cooper King up strikeouts this 5 innings. Eight strikeouts. Not too bad as
Brownfield.
Brownfield.
Oh, actually, no, Stanos. He just came in for Brownfield. It's in right field. He made the defensive substitution out and right. Interesting. Well, thanks for correcting me, Sloan.
I think we got a little corruption.
Okay, yeah, see, there's a lineup issues. Yeah, because
They've batting. Donovan Williams. Umpire makes the switch. Isaac Fernandez gets the ball, gets to go, and Cooper King is served.
great stuff, Cal.
Change up just misses down. Ball one. Beautiful day here. Fresno, Chance Park.
Great stuff.
IU Doors. Number 20. Strike one. Count evens up. A piece. There it is. Hates the outside corner. Something beautiful. Strike two. 90 miles an hour. Fuming. And a visceral 90 miles an hour. It's up in the count. 1-2. Good game here we got. It's delivery. Change job. Down and away. Strike three. Yeah. Second out of the inning for number 20, Cooper Clark of Central Arkansas.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks to Cal Noonan for calling a couple outs there in this inning. Tell you what, he went in the bag for some vernacular there. That was impressive. As some of the guys over here were talking about, he might have a future on the PGA Tour with that smooth, calm voice. Cooper King quickly works it to 0-2 here. He's working on 9 punch-outs in this game. Good stuff from number 20. Spikes that one in the dirt, 1-2. Cooper King started out this inning with 61 pitches, now in the 70s, keeping it nice and low here. Misses outside on that one, 2-2. He works back, and as Cal Noonan would say, he eviscerates the batter there. Strike three, third out of this inning. 10 punch outs for Cooper King. He strikes out the side here. He's been rolling in this game. We'll see if he comes out for another inning of work, but if he doesn't, good stuff out of number 20. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. A's still up by 2, but looking to increase that lead. Bottom six, 3-4-5 batters due up for the A's. First pitch into Ethan Wood for a strike. Ethan Wood smacked a triple out to right field his last time up and ended up scoring the last run of this ball game. Last run of this ball game, as a matter of fact, was in the third inning for the A's, that is. A long pause here. I don't know induced by who, but now pitcher into his windup, misses down low, ball two. Egan's 2-1, misses outside. Good hitters count here for Ethan Wood early in his third at bat. So still some innings for runs to score, but just on a observational note, that one gets outside 3-2. A's offense has been able to score a lot of runs in many games this year, but in those games where they're not scoring too many, as in today, that's where that starting pitching has come in very handy. And recently, those starting pitchers have been putting in quality starts, and we're seeing one today out of Cooper King. Ethan Wood chases upstairs there and punches out. So one down, and his Regis University teammate George Smith will be coming into the box next. First pitch to Smith in there for a strike. Last time up for Smith, hit an RBI single to drive in Ethan Wood after the aforementioned triple. This one sent out pretty high and deep to right center field, but center fielder parks under it for out number two. So Athletics still seeking their first hit since the third inning. That was George Smith. And next batter up, looking to break that little bit of dry spells, Luke Nevad, who had himself a single in the second inning of this ball game. 1-for-2 overall on the day. Chops this one over to the third baseman. He's got it over to first. A little high throw, but able to wrangle it in as the first baseman in time for the third out. A's go down 1-2-3 yet again in this inning, but still maintain the lead 3-1. Top of the seventh coming right up. Top of the seventh, and we got another Fresno A on the call for this one.
Cooper King rolling into the top seventh here. We're going 3 hits giving up today and 1 run. So here you are. Hayes Eden's on the mic. Cooper's best friends. Fact, yeah, Cooper King, he puts chocolate milk for his velocity. He says it's worth power to him. He'll get some good look every day. He'll drink over a gallon after every start. Alrighty. Looking at the box is the four-hole hitter Gonzalez. The pitch, fastball up and in. It has been 30 efficient for this start. 7 innings. What is he roughly 70 pitches? Oh, yank out.
That's the loudest pop I've heard all year.
Perfect foul ball. I think the four. I thought he was going to get another heater after that blistering foul ball home run. Caught him out front a little bit though. 1-2 from Cooper. Big curveball in the outer half of pitch and looking. That was his 11th pitch out of it. Cooper's more of a breaking ball specialist. They don't even box to the things in the line. Yeah. 7 minutes. I'm got the 1-0 to the 5-hole. Good changeup, back door. And strike. Here from Cooper. Nice breaking ball. Ends it in there for a strike. Talk about Cooper. He prefers to sleep in the couch rather than he believes it helps him recover better. The 1-2 pitch from Cooper. Blistering fastball blown in. Change up. Still blistering change up. And the 2-2 from Cooper. Ooh, gets him. It's a cutter under. This is 12 pinch out of the day. Jeez. Cooper struts around the mound. Clearly feeling it out today, as he says. The 6-ball digging in here. 2 up, 2 down. Both punt outs. If you can get us there. Very anxious to get this person over. No. Breaking ball. Catches the outer half. Here in the 0-1 from King. Fastball at the knees there. Isaac making sure to give him some help back there with a nice stick. Oof. Questionable call there. But he got the 1-2 count here. See if Cooper can put him away for the third K this inning. A little short there on the way to the plate. Not sure if he forgot how far he played his foot, but he'll get back in the zone, I'm sure. Alrighty, so we got a 2-2 count coming up here. Let's see if he's gonna earn his chocolate milk tonight. And the 2-2 from Cooper here.
Oh, nasty.
It's the hanging breaking ball. Good
That's-
job, Cooper King.
That's seven in a row.
And talk a little tonight for getting me a big holiday from you.
Had a babe.
He never drinks stronger than anything.
Bottom seventh here for the A's at bat. Thank you very much to Cal Noonan and Hayes Edens for getting on the call. Fun to hear their little fun facts, let's say, about their teammates and stuff. Good fun. First pitch there to Luke Reed was fouled off 0-1. This one chopped up the middle. Going to be a tough play for the shortstop. Throws it over. Does get it in time to get Luke Reed for out number one. So we've been talking about Cooper King and obviously his dominant outing, but important to note that Egan is working for his seventh inning too, so not too shabby on his end either. Just second and third inning allowed 2 runs and then 1 run, and that's the difference in this one. A's have been holding on to that lead ever since. So with 1 down, that's going to bring up Mikey Ramirez, first pitch on the outside part of the plate, in there for strike 1. Mikey scored after grounded into a fielder's choice in the second inning and is also flew out to left. Sent that one pretty far, but made a good catch. That slider seemed to be a bit outside, but umpire awarded it to Egan, so Mikey in hole 0-2 here. Spiked in the dirt, 1-2. As Jake Maynard goes to recover the errant pitch. A little bit of action going on in the A's bullpen. We'll see if Cooper King's day is done. He's in the 80s for his pitch count. 1-2 pitch, runs pretty far inside to Ramirez, but doesn't hit him. 2-2. Yet another inside pitch. Somebody says I heard it from the dugout. It's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Mikey's filled up that count. This one popped up out of play. We'll do it again. Egan coming back with 3-2 yet again. Down low in the zone. Ramirez works the walk after 0-2 count. Second time getting on base for him in his at bat. One down, runner on first. Jake Maynard, the DH, coming up. Maynard 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to short in the fourth, but in the second was hit by a pitch. First pitch to him outside. Catcher has to slide to stop that one from going to the backstop. Seen a lot of substitutions throughout this week from Coach White Featherston, but none thus far today, as that one gets away from the catcher, and Ramirez easily has second base. Quick pause as they discard that ball as it got spiked in the dirt. Get a fresh one for Egan. Comes home with the 2-0 outside, 3-0. Opposite starts to the at-bats here. Mikey went down 0-2. Maynard's up 3-0. And with Ramirez in at second base, we'll see if Maynard's a bit aggressive with that bat, try and drive him in and get an extra run on the board for the A's. 3-0 pitch taken all the way down the pipe. Egan checking on Ramirez at second, comes home. That one misses upstairs. Back-to-back free passes issued from the pitcher Egan. Runners on first and second for the A's. First good chance to score some runs here for them since the third inning. And we'll wait and see if there will be a replacement for Egan at some point in this inning. There is action going on in the bullpen. Catcher goes out to the mound, might be buying time for a couple more warm-up pitches before the coach comes out to replace him, or just to calm things down. All right, runners on first and second, one down. Egan still on the mound here. He's going to face Isaac Fernandez, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Hit a couple of long fly balls but unfortunately foul. One of them, if he straightened it out, could have been a dinger. Fouled that one into the screen 0-1. Long pause there in between pitches. Now Egan taking a couple looks at second, comes home. This one's sent out to center field. It's a should be easy fly ball, shallow left field that or right center field. Goodness gracious, that is. Caught by the second baseman for out number 2. Runners stay put, 2 down now, so going to take a base hit to get these runners in. And it's going to be up to the one hitter, Tyson Miller, over 3 with 3 ground outs on the day. Been a good hitter overall this season for the A's, though. First pitch he sees, takes it outside. Also seen the A's work a few double steals this season. We'll see if they are inclined to do that at this moment. Not on this pitch, at least. That one misses outside 2-0. Long pauses in between pitches here for Egan. Now he comes set in the stretch. Is 2-0 swung on by Miller out to left field. Looks like it's going to hang up for a flyout. It does. It's caught by the left fielder. Out number 3. A's able to get 2 runners on the bases there, but nothing doing on the scoreboard as the score still remains 3-1. We go to the top of the 8th. Extended delay here at the moment. Infield umpire is having a chat with the coach for the Warriors. All right, looks like that's finally over. But there might be a conversation between umpires now about whatever was discussed there. We'll see what ends up happening.
You guys just don't do like whack-a-mole.
Well, confusing long delay there is finally resolved, I reckon. Might have been issues over the lineups. But we're ready to go. Thanos is the first batter of this inning. Starting pitcher for yesterday's game for the Warriors. Cooper King remains on the mound, seeking an 8th inning of work.
Yeah, he did.
Did he get the swing? Umpire says yes, he did. 1-2. Still warm-ups going on in the Athletics bullpen as this one's chopped to the right side of the field. Fielded throw quick over to first in time for out number 1. Looks to be Brian Sanders that's checked into the game at second base. Olivares DH will be coming up next, so we'll take a look at some potential more substitutions here for the Athletics. We just saw Sanders make that play at second, so he'll be coming in for Perry. This one's fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Pitch number 2, chopped up the middle. George Smith on the charge, fields it, fires it to his teammate at first in time, out number 2. Slick play there from the shortstop for a quick 2 outs in this top of the 8th. 2 ground balls in the middle of the infield. Different players, though, to second, first, and now to short.
It's
King's first pitch to the new batter in there for a ball. New looks to be a pinch hitter, but trying to pull a number here. Shane Aldridge it is then. Pinch hitting for Gilbert. This one chopped over to Ethan Wood. Has it covered over to first. In time for out number 3. 3 ground balls produce a real quick 8th inning of work for Cooper King. Breaks up his 7 consecutive strikeouts, but still showing some great poise on the mound there. 8 strong innings from him. Second time he's pitched 8 innings this season, and he's got the A's 3 outs away from their 4th win on the week. First pitch of the bottom of the eighth, taken for a ball for Brian Sanders, his first at bat of this ball game. So he'll take Perry's place at second base and second in the batting order. Accidentally puts this one in play, but it's going to roll foul. Tried to check his swing, but checked it into the play. After the accidental foul ball, that'll make it 1-1. Sanders digs back in. New pitcher is Liu, is the pronunciation I'm going to go with. Sanders able to duck that one for 2-1. Any Warriors fans that might be watching, feel free to correct me if that pronunciation is wrong. 2-1 pitch on the way. Gets the call low and away. That looked like a ball there, but Warriors will certainly take that call. 2-2. Misses upstairs with that one. Count goes full. Sanders had a 2 RBI smack in yesterday's game, a part of that big 5-run fifth inning that carried the A's to their win in the series opener against the Warriors. A little bit of an awkward pause there. It was a long wait, and an umpire called time. Now we come home 3-2. It's a little weak flare shot to the second baseman. Weird spin on it. Still gets the out at first base for the first out of this inning. First pitch to Wood upstairs, 1-0. Wood 1 for 3 on the day with a triple and scored the last run of this game for the A's all the way back in the third inning. 1-0 pitch misses up and perhaps outside, 2-0. Only 5 base hits today for the Athletics, but it's been enough with Cooper King's strong start. 2-0 upstairs, 3-0. And likely assume that Wood will be taken all the way here. He is taken all the way, and that's why ball 4, Wood, 4-pitch walk, will take first base. George Smith digging in, couple of base knocks for him on the day. Drove in Ethan Wood in the third inning, also has swiped a bag. Couple of peeks over at first, now comes home, first pitch, gets the outside call. 1-0 down the pipe, sent into the stands, 1-1. Or fooled me, I think. That's 0-2. That's what the umpire indicated, at least. So we'll rock with that on our scoreboard. Long wait pitch on the way, sent up in the air. We'll see if it's in play. Looks to be. Who's going to get it? Second baseman goes sliding in to try and get it, but unable to. So George Smith will dig back into the box with another 0-2 attempt. Looks like curveball might have slipped out of his hand. Didn't have a chance to get back into the zone. Warm day here at Chachansey, but a little bit of a breeze makes it feel really nice, especially under this pop-up canopy we have. Sure, it feels a lot hotter out on that field, though. Another pitch upstairs to George Smith. Working the count here after being down 0-2. Now it's 2-2. High in the zone, George Smith goes after it, gets a piece to keep it alive.
Luke, get him in the dugout. Get Maddox on the steps.
A bit of a pause there. Had to fetch some extra balls here. Doing it again on 2-2. Curveball sent out to right field. Looks like it's going to hang up enough to get under it. It does. Out number 2. Good contact there for George Smith, but just a little too high up in the air for the right fielder to not get under it. So 2 down here. That'll bring up Luke Nevad. Ethan Wood remains at first base after his walk. First pitch in there for a strike to Nevad. Pitch number 2 loops the curveball, catches the top of the zone. 0-2. Nevad's been a lot of 0-2 counts today. Taking a look at his stats, had a single in the second inning, but has went 0 for 2 since. Right down the pipe, sent straight out to center field. Center fielder doesn't have to move much for that one, though. He's got it. That'll end the inning. Ethan Wood walk is all that the Athletics come up with in this inning. No runs still come across the board, so they are going to go into the ninth trying to protect a 2-run lead for another win. First pitch is fielded by the pitcher. Takes it himself to first base, out number one. Cooper King's going for the CG here, ladies and gentlemen. That'd be the first one of this season. Really impressive if he can get it done. Cooper King entered this inning with 90 pitches. We'll see if there's any pitch count for him. Coach White Featherston is on the top step, so might have a pitch change in mind here. We'll see, though. Cooper King's been, of course, very sharp today. Swing and a miss on that one. Upstairs with that one, 2-1. Batter is Williams for the Warriors. 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. He came in to sub for Brownfield in the batting order. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Long pause there, so umpire calls time. We saw that happen last inning, much to the Warriors' chagrin. No reservations made here this time, though. Cooper King quickly into his 2-2, loops a curveball, that misses outside. Full count, Cooper King misses low. That's his first walk since the first batter of this ball game. Runner on first, one out. Athletics would certainly like a double play, game-ending double play, let's call it. Third batter, McFadden, coming up, the shortstop for the Warriors. Over 3 on the day. He did ground out into a double play in the first inning. Swing and a miss at that one, 0-1. See if Cooper King tries to target lower in the zone here. Potentially induce the double play ground ball. 0-1 pitch. Gets it on the outside part of the plate, 0-2. Looks like King's bounced back just fine after issuing his first walk. 2 fouled right back to the screen. Do it again. Oh, 2 pitch, swung on and missed. Cooper King back on the strikeout board, 14th of the day. And he is 1 out away from the complete game, ladies and gentlemen. Good stuff from Cooper King today. His potential final batter is going to be the cleanup hitter, first baseman Gonzalez. Swing and a miss, runner on the move. Isaac Fernandez decides to eat it as the base runner either tripped or just slid short of the back there. Caused a funny moment there for his teammates in the dugout. Now we'll resume play. 0-1 the count to Gonzalez. King in his windup. Pitch on the way. Yes, he did. 0-2. One strike away from ball game here. He's also for 3 on the day. Has struck out twice. Hammers this one a ton down the right field line. Is it going to be fair? No, it's foul. King in the stretch here looking to finish off Gonzalez. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. There it is. He's hyped. So are the A's. That's 15 Ks, 5 innings worth of strikeouts for Cooper King. Goodness sakes, complete game for him. Fantastic work. Only 2 walks on the day. And they needed every bit of that out of him as the A's only scratched 3 runs across the board, but it's enough for the win. A's win 3-1 and take the first 2 games against the Warriors. 4-0 on the week, 18-6 overall for the season, and they'll look to sweep the Warriors tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for today's action, and we hope to see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the series finale. And don't forget, we'll have a one-off on Sunday at 9 a.m. as well before a Tuesday and Wednesday evening game here at Chachansey, and then we'll be heading up north to Medford, Oregon for 4th of July weekend baseball against the Medford Rogues. That'll be some good competition for these athletics. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in to today's action, and we'll see you tomorrow.